Then up top, Rubio Rubin will partner Chicho Arango.
Pretty solid side from RSL, and that's something that maybe we haven't had in years past, a depth of a squad to be able to put out in a game that's not a league game, where you're seeing that tonight with a full complement of players, maybe minus one last week of the red card of Silva, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as the game goes on. For Monterrey and Fernando Ortiz, he's got a pretty strong side out there as well, Spence.
Yeah, in goal be Andrada Esteban, or Esteban Andrada, Omar Govea, João Rosas, Jermaine Bertamain, Maxi Meza, Eric Aguirre, Captain Hector Moreno, who's an international, Sebastian Vegas, Jonathan Gonzalez, Rodrigo Aguirre, and John Mina. Again, they've got so much quality. They just let their captain go, who played in the first 3 games of the season. Obviously, the Canales transfer is probably a mighty one with about a $10 million fee, and then obviously the wages that go along with that. But what a quality player he is. But on the bench, you look immediately, and I know he missed a penalty in the last game, you told me, Landon, but Rodillo Funes Mori, the striker, the Mexican international, Argentine-born, he is one to look out for. He's a handful, very physical, tall, great in the air, and deceptively good with his feet as well.
We're almost ready to get started here at America First Fields. Monterrey in their striped jerseys, Los Rayados. They'll be moving from left to right across your radio dial, or from north to south here at America First Field. RSL in their red tops, blue shorts, and red socks. As we are underway. Monterrey, center of the park. Luna takes it away to Arango. Arango going forward quickly as he'll be dispossessed. An RSL center midfield who has been dominant as of recent will pick up the ball and play it all the way back along the back line. Vera with a touch, picks up his head. Forward to Luna. Luna a couple touches, gets a little stuck under his foot. He'll play it back to Vera. Oviedo and Luna interchanging on the near side. Big ball forward, looking for Safrino. Headed away by Monterrey. Big ball forward. Beavers comes out, edge of his area. So he'll touch it. Little scary moment there as Beavers plays it to himself. Able to cover up.
Maybe some early nerves there, Landon.
When you're 18 years old, starting in a game like this, not an easy challenge. Savrino outside the area to Arango. Arango shots on frame, and first shot for RSL quickly here in the second minute of play. And if you're an RSL fan, that's what you like to hear.
And what I do like is obviously the ball gets stuck under his feet, but his feet are so quick. He gets it out and takes a strike on goal. Gets a few of the nerves out of the way, getting that early strike in as well.
Monterrey going to get a lot of pressure from RSL as the ball's going to be played out. It's head coach Fernando Ortiz. Tried to get the touch. Not a great touch from him. We'll give him a pass. Quickly played in. Ruiz, nice little turn. Gets away from two. Still with the ball at his feet. Dispossessed and was pulled from behind. As he'll be fouled by Aguirre. Rodrigo.
One thing to keep an eye on, Landon, is that there is a huge discrepancy on the altitude from Monterrey, about 1,700 feet. So I'm looking to this second half already to see if RSL can turn it into a bit of dominance.
And I know Dunny always talks about that, but it definitely kicks in the first half as well as in the second half. As the adrenaline wears away in the first half. And the legs really become tired in the second half. Ball forward from Ruiz, a little too far out in front of Arango, and it'll go out of play, and it'll be a goal kick coming for Andrada.
And Paulo Ruiz always does that. Takes him a couple of passes to find the weight. You see, he played that a little bit too far in front of Chicho. Watch for the next couple of balls that he's able to split the defense with, and he'll find his range.
Vera cuts it off. RSL keeping possession well. Big ball, Arango over his head, and it'll go out of play. He gives the thumbs up to Savrino, but it goes out of play, and it'll be a throw-in coming from Monterrey deep in their own half. And the press has been one thing RSL has done very well this season. You're going to continue to see that as RSL puts pressure forward on Monterrey. It's going to force them to get out of their own area.
And that takes time to figure out, Landon. We saw earlier in the season they were trying it, but it was one or two guys that were pressed and nobody else would react. Now you're seeing the entire midfield react from the forward line presses.
Oviedo. Back into Ruiz. Ruiz, big switch over to Hidalgo. Kaysville, Utah native, dispossessed, but he'll get back up and ball still stays with RSL. Hidalgo. Inside to Rubin. Heavy touch there as Rubin's been in form, having played for Guatemala and helped them get out of the group stage. Scored in the game against Seattle, too, as he's looked good so far this season.
Yeah, seems to have grown into the season. Took him a little while to find his feet, but again, tip of the cap to the coaching staff, Landon. Him playing on the left-hand side kind of took the pressure off of him, found his feet, and he's been rewarded with a couple of goals and assists.
You've got to love the changes this coaching staff has made in the front office, has added those additions to make it easy for this this coaching staff to play the team that best suits each position, or the player that best suits each position. 5th minute of play. Glad rises high, wins the header. RSL wins second ball. Good little move there, dicing through the midfield. Ojeda. Luna out wide. Luna was a late addition to this starting 11 as Krylock was a scratch a few hours before the game.
Just an ankle knock for Dami. He trained yesterday, felt it, thought it would be okay, and then did a fitness test around 3:30 today. And the coaching staff decided not to risk it. Not worth it for the captain.
Savrino, skill touch there. Takes it down. He'll run at the defense. Out wide to Hidalgo. Into Ruiz. Ruiz out wide to Oviedo. Into Luna. Luna's been creative this season. To Rubin. Accommodations there. Inside the box. Cleared away temporarily. RSL, the pressure high, pays off again. Savrino picks up his head from distance, running inside, pushes it just wide.
But so far, Monterrey are not allowing any of those free shots. Everything is under pressure, which is what we didn't see against Seattle on Saturday, Landon. This team is really, really solid.
And the nice part is, you've got guys on the bench that can come in and replace you, so the press can be there, especially on a team like Monterrey, where they're going to struggle with that altitude and the early fitness, whereas RSL doesn't have to worry about that. And you're seeing that throughout the field as a foul's called there just in front of the midfield stripe.
Yeah, you already start to think about Anderson Julio as that option as the tiredness sets in, getting in behind, running into the channels, as we saw with that third goal against Seattle, how he was able to set up Rubio Rubin.
And so far you've seen it, Monterrey has really struggled to get the ball out wide. It's really been in the center of the park, and anything in the center of the park has been collapsed upon really quick by ourselves so far.
Yeah, and Rojas is the one, the number 8, plays on the left-hand side that they want to get the ball to, and he's not really had a sniff so far.
Good ball inside. Monterrey inside the area, pushed, and an own goal as Justin Glad puts it in the back of his own net here in the 8th minute. And that might have been the first attack from Monterrey of the evening, and they're up 1-0 as America First Field is quiet.
Really well worked in the midfield there, and then all of a sudden the ball in behind to the winger, Maxi Meza, and he just puts it across the face of goal, trying to find Rojas, as we were just talking about, Landon, but Justin Glad can't let that ball go across, but unfortunately just knocks it past Gavin Beavers himself.
Monterrey did a really good job getting in behind the defense of Oviedo. And now it's a game of pressure. We know 2 is kind of that magic number, Spence. In front of your home crowd, you do not want to be losing to Monterrey. A feeling of 2011. And now it's time to see if you can continue to apply the pressure and not let go of what you've done so far.
Well, it's been a while since RSL found themselves a goal down. The last few games, they've done a really, really good job of capitalizing on the initial pressure early in the game. This will be a good test for those guys.
Justin Glad scored a lot of goals this season. Unfortunately, tonight, this one's for Monterrey here in the 8th minute. 1-0 Monterrey here in this Leagues Cup match. See if RSL can keep things together. Vera, nice step there. Wins the ball. Ruiz picking up his head. Ball wide. Savarino tries to get around the defender. Just trying to go around Vegas.
Not really rocked by the goal. They're still playing, trying to move the ball as they do through the midfield and then spring the wingers.
Definitely one of those frustrating moments if you're RSL, having dominated so far in this match, only to give up one single attack. There's another opportunity for Beavers collects.
Well, it certainly looks like Monterrey's done their homework, Landon. They're starting to target Brian Oviedo. There's a couple of times they put the ball in behind now.
And speed's one thing you're going to have to keep an eye on. This Mexican side is very fast. Speed in a number of different positions. That's one of the reasons why they're one of the top CONCACAF teams. 10th minute of play. Vera, wide to Glad. Glad came on as a substitute against Seattle after the red card of Silva. Fresher legs for him. Vera here on the near side. Oviedo on the touchline. Oviedo moving forward. He's got space in front of him. Slows it up into Luna. Vera with the big switch. And we've seen that ball a number of times tonight so far. Big switch to Savarino into Arango. Arango looking for runners. No one there. Takes a spin and a turn. Ojeda wide to Hidalgo. Hidalgo picking up his head, trying to get the ball inside the box. Not a great cross. Cleared away by Monterrey. Back to Hidalgo. Savarino. The ref, I think, was temporarily going to put up the offside flag. Quickly taken as a throw-in for RSL.
Well, the ref has already done a better job than Saturday's ref. Let's put it that way. It's been solid so far, but not really calling to action too much.
Oviedo, step over. Ball on the right foot, puts it inside the box to Arango. Headed just over the bar. RSL had two guys inside the box. Good ball there from Oviedo as Arango and Rubin were both within 2-3 steps of each other. And Arango puts it up over top.
And that's Oviedo's strength right there. Obviously, probably would have preferred it on his left foot there, but a lovely right-footed ball. Just a little too much on that from Arango's flicked header.
Ojeda going forward. Wide to Savarino. Savarino, nice little worm burner through to Luna. Luna just outside the area. Luna, Ojeda. Ojeda gets pushed from behind, still keeping possession. He goes down, no foul called. Ruiz battling. Questionable call by the center referee, and the fans will let him know it here. Rosando Mendoza.
Should have touched wood when I get.
You can't say stuff like that.
Yeah.
We'll blame that one on Spence.
Thanks, guys.
It's a quick call in the center of the park. Goes against RSL. Rosendo Mendoza. His first pro game was in 2019. He's had a number of different big games. NWSL Championship in 2019. USL West Final in 2019, which featured the Monarchs. And USL Championship game as the fourth. Inside the box and another goal. Rayado's up 2-0 here in the 13th minute, and RSL sitting on their heels.
Again, targeting Brian Oviedo's defensive frailties, lack of pace there, getting in behind again. And RSL undone quite easily that time as well.
Not a great start for RSL. And I think a lot of the RSL players are frustrated as they're getting the quiet from Monterrey players. 14 minutes in, and it's 2-0 Monterrey. Revenge was the word that was heard. So far, Monterrey has come out flying on that front foot, and we're only 14 minutes into this game, Spence.
Yeah, and they kind of withstood the pressure from RSL. The first few minutes, RSL came out flying out of the blocks, looked very good, and then all of a sudden, 2 electric counterattacks down the right-hand side, and they find themselves 2 goals to the good.
A lot of work to put in at this point for RSL. Hot evening here in Sandy, Utah. You got to wonder if Beavers might be a little rattled at this point. Not the start he wanted to have, as he's 5-1-1 in all competitions this season.
Yeah, what I like about Gavin is that he has got that short memory. He's given up a couple of goals this season, Landon. The one in the U.S. Open Cup up in Portland, and then just went from strength to strength, just grew in stature.
And he's one of those guys that comes from a pedigree. His dad is a very competitive guy, played college soccer, Portland's, and has taught him to be very competitive. And I definitely do not believe he'll keep that in his memory as he's going to try to move forward. Savrino dancing around, keeping possession. Split in defense to Arango. Arango's going to go down, and finally a foul called for RSL. About 10 outside the area. Just about the point Messi scored a goal in his first Leagues Cup game.
Scored 2 more last night as well.
What's a Leagues Cup broadcast if you don't mention the GOATs?
Ruiz with his hands on the ball. He's got Chicho Arango and Savrino for company. Brian Vera's around as well. Probably slightly favors the right footer.
Andrada sets a wall just inside the 18. Four in the wall, 1 behind the wall, laying below. Arango and Ruiz standing over it. Arango giving instructions. Ruiz, shot on goal just up over the bar. The Argentine wanted to put his name on the score sheet, just like his fellow countrymen. It puts it up over the bar here in the 17th minute of play.
Nice effort. Just couldn't get the dip. Hit the roof of the netting. Just couldn't get the dip to dip quick enough.
Vera will chase this one down. Quickly forward to Luna. RSL's good on the counterattack and has been this season, as we saw one of those goals in League Cup against Seattle. Is this match day 2 of 3 as Monterrey and Seattle will play here coming up
Sunday.
Quick
up at Lumen
turnarounds.
Field, and Monterrey will be the home team again.
Kind of one of those interesting moments about League Cup, and I know one of the complaints that we've heard out there is no games down in Mexico, as I'm sure this format will slowly start to evolve and change. But so far has been very entertaining. A lot of goals and a lot of games played. Tonight was no difference, as we'll get you some scores from around the league and what's happened so far. Vera. Monterrey is no stranger to winning big games in important moments. 5 league titles. 5 league titles, 5 CONCACAF titles, 3 in a row, 1 here against RSL, 3 domestic cup titles as well. in their 78-year history. As Rubin will apply the pressure. Monterrey has a good following and a very strong fan base as they regularly are one of the top attendance getters in the Mexican League. Back to Beavers. Into Vera. Good composure. Over to Glad. Marcel looks a little undone by the goals. They're not playing the same as they have as Hidalgo goes forward. 3 on him. Can he hear the footsteps? He goes down. No foul called. Then a late whistle. Sometimes those footsteps are not that easy to hear. Multiple players around him, and he goes down here in the 20th minute. Free kick coming for RSL. About the same distance out as the earlier free kick, just wide on that far side. Ruiz and Savarino stand over it.
Now, I would say this is ideal for the left footer, but it looks like Savarino's the one that stepped back.
Luna, Glad, Vera on that back post. Line being held by Monterrey on top of the 18. RSL trying to dig back. Savarino plays it inside the box towards Vera! Pushes it down and up and over the crossbar. What a golden opportunity. And a big miss there from RSL to bring one back.
A really good run by Brian Vera there to get on the end of the cross, but he hits it into the ground so hard that it bounces over the crossbar. Otherwise, that was 2-1.
Might have been off. As we'll take a quick pause for station identification.
Real Salt Lake is on 97.5 FM KZNS Colville, 1280 AM KZNS Salt Lake City, 1160 AM KSL Salt Lake City, and KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is the RSL Radio Network.
Arango, good work to keep the ball in front of him, chased from behind and taken down. Ball falls inside the 18, Savarino applying pressure. Here's where RSL has done good this season, applying the pressure and keeping or winning back the balls. There's a player down for Monterrey. And one of his teammates is signaling a change. I don't know if it was a non-contact injury. We'll have to get eyes on that.
Yeah, I didn't see any contact. That's always the worst. We saw that with Chicharito earlier in the season, the Open Cup game.
22nd minute, Monterrey head coach making the signal they're going to make an adjustment. He's going to the bench, and we'll see the first substitution for Monterrey here in the 22nd minute.
Looks like he was just touching that left ankle.
They're calling the stretcher out. So the stretcher crew's going to get their bibs on, and in CONCACAF fashion, we're going to have a stretcher come out.
Looks like Funes Mori is the one who's doing more of the intense warm-up. Mexican international.
Pablo Ruiz still sporting his John Jenna shirts. So our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. Monterrey getting medical staff to assist. The stretcher crew is going to bring him off. And we're going to see a substitution. Crowd is filled in nicely here at America First Field. It's officially, I believe, a 20,000 sellouts here. Shirt over the face. In definite pain. TV's showing a view, and it looks like wasn't much there, but went down. And that's some of the worst moments as a soccer player, the non-contact injuries, the injuries that the player just goes down as he gets up off the stretcher and walks it off.
Yeah, more often than not, you'll find that when it's those non-contact injuries, that's usually the end of the game. Tough loss for Monterrey. as Aguirre goes out.
Monterrey will play a man down for a few moments. RSL 11v10. A few moments ago, Vera had an opportunity to bring one back for RSL, went up and over the bar. Appreciate you tuning in tonight to this Leagues Cups match between Monterrey and RSL. RSL trying to pull one back here early in this first half. The pressure has been there, and now some sloppy adjustments as Glad's going to have to track back. Monterrey going forward, ball pushed towards goal, and it'll go wide. RSL with the goal kick. Justin Glad provided the cover there and was able to get back in position to cut off Monterrey. There's our official substitution.
Lennon, you can tell already the touches from this Monterrey team, taking the ball in stride. It's just a lot quicker than we're used to in Major League Soccer.
Well, it was pretty wild. They really took in those first handful of minutes, ball in towards Arango and too far out in front. His keeper comes out and collects, but really took in some of that pressure. And then it took that one moment of counterattack soccer to get that quick goal, and then a second not too far behind. And RSL now sitting in a hole 2-0, needing to dig out. Luna all the way back to collect. Vera to Oviedo. Oviedo heavy touch. Ball takes a bounce. RSL is going to apply pressure. Player down from Monterrey. He's back up. As Govea was down. As he's walking gingerly, and there'll be a throw-in coming from Monterrey. Quickly taken, ball inside the box. Header rising high. Beavers, huge save. I think Gavin Beavers just kept that one from being 3-0. Monterrey.
Pushed that onto the crossbar, did it expertly there. But again, that's the threat from Funes Mori. Different type of player, great in the air. Won that header easily and put it up into the top corner. Gavin Beavers quickly on his heels to palm that onto the bar and out for a corner.
RSL needs to change what they're doing so far. Corner kick coming from Monterrey, their first of the game. Ball back post, headed inside the area. Luna will clear. RSL will get organized. Big ball forward. Headed down. But to Monterrey. Govea. Vegas. Ball's wide. Hidalgo, good defense there, sticks him. Savrino's going to try to get the ball forward. He'll play it off the defender, and it'll be a throw-in coming from RSL to the applaud of the crowd.
Yeah, good pressure from Monterrey there, Landon, and obviously calm work by Savrino just to knock that off of the Monterrey legs out for a throw-in.
28th minutes. RSL still trails 2-0. And really the only three opportunities truly for Monterrey. RSL with a few, but nothing super substantial other than the Vera header up and over the crossbar. Monterrey's collapsed in on the RSL midfield. You're not seeing much of that dominance at this point of the match anymore. Ojeda and Ruiz have been very effective as Rubin's going to play forward. Ball skips out in front of him. He puts the thumbs up, but nothing there. Rubin will apply the pressure. Zandrada will pick it up for the goal kick. For the kick. Takes his time. Driven ball to the midfield stripe. Hidalgo with the header. Good ball movement from Monterrey. Gonzalez. Medina all the way back to the keeper. This is the first real big stretch of possession for Monterey. Spence. It's going to play it forward. Ball in, onside, and a foul will be called. It'll be interesting to see if the flag's up for an offside, and it is. There's going to be a free kick coming from RSL.
But again, so easy to get in behind. You're obviously offside there, but it's just marginal. You just don't see it with Justin Glad.
It's the scare, and maybe this combination just is a little bit out of syncs. As Silva had played some time there. I think there's questions coming from the Monterey bench asking our fourth official.
Yeah, Fernando
it's being
Ortiz,
held.
The coach for Monterey, stellar career down in Argentina and Mexico. I think he started life with Boca Juniors.
Yeah, he has a pretty solid career as a center back. 462 games in his career, 24 goals. His managerial career has been going on since 2016. Coached America last year. Play stopped temporarily as our center referee is waiting word from our VAR, Eric Miranda. 31st minute of play.
Well, I certainly thought it was offside, but I couldn't see the fullbacks if they were keeping the centre forwards on.
Hidalgo looked to be a little higher. It'd be interesting to see that. Excuse me, I'm wrong with the VAR. Oscar Mejia is the VAR. Always getting conflicting information on the referees as we're waiting again. Center referee walking away from the team. He's putting his hand to the ear.
It really doesn't need to take this long. I mean, at least the ref is using VAR today, unlike Saturday.
Pablo is frustrated. Arms up in the air. Arango standing there. Center referee is going to point. He's going to give the go-ahead to Beavers. Glad picks up his head here in the 31st. I guess the benefit is technology did what it needed to do there and got the call right. Luna, heavy touch there, keeps it with him. Shifty footwork there. Ojeda wide. This is more like the RSL we'd like to see. Hidalgo back to Luna. Luna in the center of the park. Interchange. Hidalgo into Luna. Luna inside the area. Heavy touch. And Luna tries to play it off the defender. There'll be a goal kick coming.
Not much complaining there. I thought it might have been a Monterey touch last of all, but Luna's reaction says it all.
Sometimes the easiest thing is to look at the player and he'll tell you. RSL again with the pressure. Enough to win the ball away from Monterey, and a foul there, and a yellow card quickly shown. Looked like he came wide with the arm. Govea will be shown yellow in the 33rd.
Yeah, tough challenge there. Kind of got him with the shoulder.
We get the replay look here in the stadium. If you're on Apple TV, you get a look at that as well. RSL free kick. Supporter section in the south side of the stadium getting into this one. Drums beating RSL with RSL chants. Ball whipped inside the box. Number of runners right there. Maybe a foot or two shorter on the free kick, and RSL has an opportunity on goal. Monterrey's keeper quickly checks in and possesses.
I like what Chicho did there. Just followed through, just gave the goalkeeper a little bit of a nudge. Maybe put second thoughts in his mind next time he comes to collect the cross.
It's been sometimes it's those little things as a player you've got when you're down in a game like this. You've got to start taking those moments to show that you're in this game and you're not just going to fall apart. Because those first few moments after that second goal for Monterrey, RSL did not look like the RSL they had the rest of the game to that point.
Yeah. They seem to have calmed down now.
Keeping possession is RSL. Can it be positive ball movements? Ojeda. Ball not in the space of Luna. Vera applies the pressure and a foul called. There'll be a free kick coming from Monterrey right in front of their bench.
And that's probably the frustrating thing about Brian Vera is the fact that he's got the guy facing away from goal, RSL jerseys all around the Monterrey player, and then just commits the foul.
RSL with more pressure. Pushed wide by Monterrey. Vegas. Govea. Ball clipped in. RSL nowhere to be found. Glad, good step there. As the flag
Offside.
was up.
Got worried there. Offside, I guess.
Mesa was the player in, as Glad was able to track back. And that's maybe one of the challenges of having Hidalgo so wide on the pitch, trying to put his boots wet with paint on the side. Rubin's going to track it down. Just on the touchline. Into Arango. Arango. Touch. Arango! Into the side netting. Everybody here thought it was in the back of the net for a moment, but into the side netting. But that's what you like to see so far.
Excellent first touch by Arango to get the ball out of his feet as it was played in behind. Then rifles the shot with not much backlift. Wouldn't have given the goalkeeper much time to react if he had got that on target.
Ball played forward. Vera goes up, wins the header. Savrino quickly wide. 3 around him. Meg, but taken away by the second player. Monterrey has done a good job keeping RSL's stars really in check so far. Hidalgo, second touch to Savrino. The ball will go out of play. Side netting. RSL wanted that one in the back of the net. Still down 2-0 here in the 37th minutes. RSL would love to get one back before the halftime whistle. We've seen RSL come back from 2-0 this season. So not a challenge that they can't overcome, but not something that they expected or wanted to see tonight, especially against a side like Monterrey. Arango wins the header, or wins the ball with his shoulder. RSL keeps possession. Luna, wide to Oviedo. Into Ruiz. Ojeda, not a great ball there, and he's looked good so far. So he applies the pressure back, and he'll put some jets in and some work in to try to win the ball back for RSL. Knocks that out of play, and it'll be a throw-in coming.
Good work by Ojeda. Obviously, the pass was poor, turns possession over, but he puts pressure on 2 players, wins the, or puts it up for a throw in there, but never stays on his heels.
Arango applying the pressure. Luna there as well. Mesa into the center of the park. Heavy ball there from Monterrey. Vera clips it forward. Good ball by Vera. Arango over to Luna. Luna, good to get around the first. Struggles to get around the seconds. Good chest there by Funes, as he came on as a substitute here in this first half. We saw an injury earlier for Monterrey. 39th minutes. RSL need a big opportunity here late in the half. Got to get this crowd back into the game. Get that feeling of revenge as a possibility. Just as a reminder, if this game ends tied after 90 minutes, it'll go directly to penalty kicks.
2 points for the winner. You still get a point if you lose the shootout, which
That would-
RSL will take right now.
That would secure things for RSL moving on. Glad coming forward. Good touch there by Glad to get it to Hidalgo. Can RSL go quickly? Not the runners there, so they won't. Oviedo to Ruiz. Ruiz is tugged upon from behind. And Ruiz will take the foul. Quick reset for RSL. Big switch to Hidalgo. Bodie inside to Sabrino. Heavy touch there. Sabrino keeps possession. Bad giveaway there from RSL. Monterrey is going to go forward. Beavers quickly coming out. Beavers gets there. Beavers doing a good job just on top of the area. Head coach calling for a foul. Arango in behind. Arango inside the 18. Arango to Rubin. Rubin can't get a full foot on it. And RSL another opportunity. But just not enough. Vera goes up for the header, and Vera's going to be called for the foul. And the Monterrey bench is losing it over Beavers coming out on top of the area. Good job by Gavin. Replay shows that he got ball. Looks to be ball inside the stadium, and I don't think our center referee has even looked or mentioned that VAR was going to be an possibility, and definitely ball. So we got a closer look at that, and Gavin Beavers with his second big save of the evening. Glad, good step there. Arango looking forward to Rubin. Savrino, he's taken out from the side, and a foul has to be called. Sometimes it just feels like reffing at this CONCACAF level is just a touch slower, a touch off. Maybe that's just the feeling we get sometimes as we watch these games. 42nd minute of play. RSL with another free kick. RSL with a free kick. Line for Monterrey held on the 18. RSL with two opportunities, only to come away with nothing so far. The last one was Rubio Rubin. Ball played inside the box. Another good ball, but maybe a little too deep there from Savrino. As the question will become, how did Rubin not score that one? But it was not the cleanest ball or turn from him there. Ball wide. Big switch there by Monterrey. .43 minutes. Spence, those opportunities don't come very often. How has RSL not been able to put one away to this point?
Yeah, this last one was a gilt-edged chance. He'll be gutted that he wasn't able to poke that in the net. I know he had a couple of players around him, but really he should do a ton better with that ball. You find yourself at 2-1 before half-time, and it's the second 45 all to play for.
I think that's one of the keys to this game. Not that RSL can't come back in the second half. It was a big moment for the U.S. women's national team as Lindsey Horan, the captain, scores one and pulls one back off a header in the 63rd. Hopefully I'm not spoiling any of you. Hopefully you're double watching the games right now. Split screen, pitcher in pitcher, something going on there. Maybe that's not a thing anymore. I don't know. RSL down 2-0. 44th minutes. There will be some time added here. Monterrey going forward. Luna, good little step there. Luna wins that ball. Ruiz tries to get to the seconds. Coming back, and you got to love the pressure RSL continues to put. Forward, Rubin settles. Heavy ball there. Luna tries to play it in and back. Maybe a little bit too fancy there. U.S. women's national team pulls one back. Can RSL pull one back? Monterrey looking forward inside their own half. Ball playing forward. Vera gets there first. Vera's going to let it roll across the end line. It'll be a Gavin Beavers goal kick coming.
You're not going to get around Brian Vera. That is a big body.
RSL quickly takes it. The fourth official put the number into the board. So I'm guessing we'll see that number momentarily.
Got to be at least 2, right?
I've got to think it's got to be more like 4. But I've been more shocked in my life by other things. Arango.
Try to do too much there.
Trying to go a little too hard. Hidalgo slow to track back, but gets there. Shot towards Beavers. He collects. So that one hits the ground in front of him. Maybe a little bit of a difficult one as stoppage time is announced. 3 minutes, so they split us. 3 minutes here in the first half. 3 minutes for RSL to try to pull one back. 2-0 Monterrey. Now it's a gut check. Little Meg there from Hidalgo. Combination coming from Arango, but unable to connect. Luna applies the pressure back. No foul called. Ruiz takes a crack from distance, seeing the keeper off his line. Takes a deflection right in front of him. We're through one unofficially of the 3. 2 and change left. Monterrey sitting deep back in really 2 blocks. Maybe a slightly third block as they one attacker forward. RSL probing, trying to find the space. Hasn't been able to do so far. Ball to Vera. Back to Beavers. Gavin picks up his head. Undecisive for a second. To Ojeda, it'll be back to him through Glad. Quickly taken to Vera. Oviedo there. Rubin making a run. Rubin gets a header. No one in the center of the park, though. RSL a little disconnected here in the last few. Another ball up over top. Beautiful ball. And Glad provided the assist there to make sure that one wasn't another opportunity for Monterrey. The counterattack has been deadly. That ball up over top really has been the game changer of this one, Spence.
Yeah, and they've worked it so well. And you can tell they've watched plenty of film of how they're going to attack this RSL back line.
Something has to change for RSL if they're going to get back into this game and not give up a third. Ball goes out of play. Be a throw-in coming. We're almost through the 3 minutes, and I think both teams are just settling that this needs to go. To the locker room. Monterrey might not be done as they're going to make a big switch here. Looks like U.S. temporarily had a goal, but called back with an offside flag, as that's 45 minutes here at America First Field. 2-0 Monterrey, and RSL has to be frustrated through 45, Spence.
Yeah, especially after the really good performance against Seattle, and starting the game quite brightly, but going down a goal after 8 minutes and then getting another one scored only 4 minutes later, 5 minutes later, really took the wind out of RSL's sails. They kind of found their feet again, but then you just started to see, the last 5 minutes of the first half landing as Monterrey just started to execute and look quicker again. And RSL, at times in the last 5 minutes of the first half, were chasing shadows. A real concern for the coaching staff as they head into halftime.
We'll take a break here at America First Field, 2-0 Monterrey, and we'll pass it off to our halftime crew after this commercial break.
Shaping a game plan for your family's healthcare involves more than just X's and O's. It's being there when you need them most and when you least expect it. As a trusted healthcare provider for the Real Salt Lake family and yours, University of Utah Health has the right playbook for keeping your team healthy, no matter what age or need. Get the same care that RSL relies on by visiting uofuhealth.org.
Real Salt Lake will be back on America First Field on August 26th when they host Houston for Kick Childhood Cancer Night. Presented by WCF Insurance. Get your tickets at rsl.com or call 844-REAL-TICKS.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin ultra soft on the potty, this is supposed to roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always soft. It's our party vibe. It's cushion and things so when chicks feel fly. So worth it. Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
45 minutes are in the books. This is your RSL halftime show, presented by America First, the official credit union of Real Salt Lake, and the only place you can get the team's exclusive Visa credit and debit cards. America First's all-star roster of products and services can help you reach your financial goals faster. Become a member today at americafirst.com. By University of Utah Health, the trusted healthcare provider for the RSL family and yours. Visit uofuhealth.org. And by LifeVantage. Flip the switch to activate wellness at lifevantage.com. Now it's time for a breakdown of today's first half on the RSL Radio Network.
Halftime here, America First Field. Real Salt Lake trailing Monterrey 2-0. Jay Catch here, Lauren Beck there, breaking things down. And Lauren, you would think in a match that's 2-0 in favor of the visitors, I guess in this case the home side, you'd be thinking, hey, it's going really kind of one-way traffic, but that's not the case. RSL has had a number of really good looks in that first half, have been unable to convert on any of them.
Better possession, more shots, less on target. So 58% possession for Real Salt Lake, 8 shots to Monterrey's 4. However, Monterrey with 3 shots on goal, where Real Salt Lake has had the 1, and it wasn't a very dangerous one at that. Yeah. We talked about it in pregame. Sorry for the fart noise on the air. That's just how I feel, apparently.
You're not wrong.
Where, when we're about to talk about Brian Oviedo here on the left side there, getting absolutely roasted. Yeah. We talked about it in pregame that was a concern. We also talked about Bodie Hidalgo, who I will admit I was wrong about that. He had a great first half.
He's held up nicely, yes.
Spence feels like Monterrey's targeting Brian Bear because he's not very fast either. But for me, it feels like they're targeting Brian Oviedo because he is not fast, but he's out on that wing. He has been burned multiple times. Both goals coming directly off of free kicks from
off the right side.
Yes, for Monterrey. Yeah. Not even quick restarts. Just RSL not ready for it. I mean, beautiful one-touch passes for Monterrey. They look good, but honestly, there's no reason Real Salt Lake should be losing this game. The own goal for Justin Glad, he did not need to take a touch on that. He's facing his own goal. You just don't. There's no one behind him either. Yeah. He did not need to take that touch. And that's a lack of communication and awareness. Very unfortunate for him because I thought he had a great first half otherwise. Second goal, again, Oviedo got burned. And it was a beautiful ball in, but Gavin Beavers stuck in no man's land, did not come out, did not get the angle, let that far post stay wide open. A beautiful finish for Bertome, but again, no reason it should have happened.
Yeah.
RSL still looks very much in it. It just like two really unfortunate restarts for RSL on free kicks for Monterrey.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this is it feels like RSL should be right in the thick of this, and they are, honestly. They just need to get on the score sheet. Honestly, that would completely have changed, I think, the whole calculus of this first half. If they went in down 2-1, Lauren, it would have been a very different feeling half.
Yes, and at this point, I might just be like done with Oviedo for the night, but I said to you at one point, just literally put anybody with pace. They don't have to be a defender. Put not Andres Gomez, Anderson Julio at left back. I don't care. Someone with pace, because he's getting burned every single time.
Monterrey has targeted the right flank. They believe they can cook Oviedo as well as Brian Vera on the right side. And like you mentioned, both goals have come that way. We'll continue to break this down. We'll get some thoughts on the second half coming up here in just a moment. Halftime here at America First Field with Monterrey leading Real Salt Lake 2-0 in the Leagues Cup. More in a moment right here on the RSL Radio Network.
Hey RSL fans, as the official credit union of Real Salt Lake, America First is the only place you can get the team's exclusive Visa credit and debit cards. Packed with features and benefits, the RSL cards let you shout out to the world that you believe every time you use them. So get into the game with a Real Salt Lake credit or debit card and start repping your RSL with every dip, tap, or swipe. Apply today at America First Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Dear 2030, we look forward to seeing you. After our 160-point quality assurance inspections, we'll be Toyota certified used vehicles with peace of mind riding along. Not to honk our own horns, but the best new cars make the best used cars, and we cannot wait. See you in the future. To learn more about Toyota certified used vehicles, visit your local Toyota dealer. Find yours at toyotacertified.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hans and Scotty here, and we are excited to join forces with Advance Windows, the local window and door manufacturing company that sells direct to the public. Hans with over 37 years of servicing Utah all the way back to 1986.
Now under the direction of the mayor of Sac Lake City, Nate Orchard. These guys are doing great things. Lifetime warranty, service by their local team, with labor, glass and parts included, high efficiency replacement windows and doors, lots of colors to choose from, and so much more. Plus, they can have them from their factory to your front door for installation in just 8 weeks.
Some great financing options available as well. Save now, pay later. They've got 60 months, 0% interest for a limited time only. You're going to love what you see. Give them a call right now, 801-850-9100. You can also check them out online at advancedwindowsusa.com.
Right now, for our listeners, $2,000 off 10 windows or more. Call 801-850-9100.
That's Advanced Windows at advancedwindowsusa.com.
Welcome back to America First Field with Real Salt Lake trailing Monterrey 2-0 here in the Leagues Cup. And Lauren, we just talked about the fact that RSL had a lot of good looks in that first half. Looking towards the second half, it feels like the biggest thing for RSL is just to get on the score sheet, and that may get them to relax a little bit and get them right back into this one.
Yeah, just any old goal will do.
Goals change games.
Just to keep stating obvious things. Yeah, no, it. The difficult thing is I don't really want to substitute any of. Actually, no, I would take Rubio Rubin off. Sorry. He should have a goal. That was ridiculous.
He should have tallied there.
Sorry, I'm feeling really
to get
snarky
trapped under his
tonight,
feet like he did. It just can't have it.
No. Yeah, I would take Rubio off. You got to keep Chicho on in this game. Sava's been good. Diego's been great. Man, put some Anderson Julio on or something. I don't know. They do look. Oh, Danny. Give me Danny. I'll take Danny Musovsky or
he seems
Anderson
to have the
Julio
hold-up play ability to be able to help guys get into the box and hopefully create some more chances.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, the concern right now is your left back. You cannot have Brian Vera and Brian Oviedo with that lack of pace on that side. As we said, they're targeting it. But I don't know who you could possibly put in for him. I was joking about putting just someone with pace on that left side, but You know, you can't really do that, but I kind of just want to. But it's really not that bad from RSL, just a couple moments that things went the wrong way.
Yep, we will see what happens in the second half. Coming up next, we will turn it back over to Landon South. We will have Spencer Warren with the call of the second half. We'll be back after the game. Full reaction from coaches and players. This has been your RSL Halftime Show right here on the RSL Radio Network.
Ready? I got this. This has been your RSL Halftime Show, presented by America First, the official credit union of Real Salt Lake, and the only place you can get the team's exclusive Visa credit and debit cards. America First's all-star roster of products and services can help you reach your financial goals faster. Become a member today at americafirst.com. By University of Utah Health, the trusted healthcare provider for the RSL family and yours. Visit uofuhealth.org. And by LifeVantage. Flip the switch to activate wellness at lifevantage.com. Get ready. Second half action is just moments away on the RSL Radio Network.
Hi, this is Ned Siegfried of Siegfried & Jensen. We can help you if you've been injured in an accident. We've been handling injury cases and only injury cases for over 30 years. If you've been injured in an auto accident, you need and deserve an experienced law firm in your corner. Call us for a free consultation at 801-222-2222. That's 801-222-2222. You can also learn more by going to siegfriedandjensen.com. We're here to help you.
Real Salt Lake will be back on America First Field on August 26th when they host Houston for Kick Childhood Cancer Night. Presented by WCF Insurance. Get your tickets at rsl.com or call 844-REAL-TICKS.
University of Utah Health is growing and hiring for a variety of clinical and non-clinical positions like nursing, IT, allied health, customer service, and more in multiple locations along the Wasatch Front. Enjoy generous benefits and opportunities for advancement, all while making a difference in the lives of so many. If passion and purpose are part of you, be part of U of U Health. Find your future. Visit joinuuh.com.
Cedar Hills Golf Club has a new par 3 short course. It's a non-traditional golf course, so I guess that's why I'm here. It's not traditional to have an 8-year-old talking to you on the radio. This course is so fun. You can play it in 45 minutes, and it's only $12. That's less than a box of Legos. So, Mom and Dad, if you're listening, take me for family night. I almost promise I won't lose any of your balls. No appointments necessary. Just go to Cedar Hills and play. Have fun!
Get ready. It's time for second half action. Let's go to the stadium for the final 45 minutes of today's match with Jay Nolly and David James on the RSL Radio Network.
Back live here at America First Field. RSL down 2-0. And Spence, of note to me, looking at the situation right now just inside the stadium, RSL subs are up, happy, moving, joking, doing what they need to. Monterey's not out yet. Their subs aren't out. Or, excuse me, they are out, but sitting on the bench, maybe a little more relaxed. And I think that just goes to show maybe where RSL's mindset is. They've come back 3 times in the last year and a half, and it definitely could be possible tonight to come back from 2 down.
Yeah, and as we talked about in the first half, or very early in the first half, Landon, altitude will play a part. They looked really solid in the first 45 minutes, it's got to be said about Monterrey. But around that 55, 60-minute mark, maybe RSL can start to stretch things. You start to look at the bench, Andres Gomez. You look at, obviously, Anderson Julio with the ability to get in behind and stretch defenses. And maybe that's where RSL will find their little bit of luck. The good thing about this, though, Landon, is that RSL have had chances, maybe not super, super clear-cut, but they are creating still. If they weren't, then I'd be a little bit more concerned. But it is a huge 45 minutes if RSL want to get anything out of tonight's game.
And a lot to play for still at this point, and a lot still available for this RSL side. It really could look very different if it were for a Vera goal or a Rubin goal in that first half, or really even both those guys having scored. But nonetheless, still 2-0. And I would expect not many changes from RSL. Maybe the only change that I think has been quite the struggle is Oviedo's speed on that outside. We were talking about it here in the booth during the halftime, and maybe that's really one of the struggles and one of the targets that Monterrey has really honed in on.
Yeah.
And I don't know where you go with that, but maybe a couple options. Noah Nelly has played really well, and maybe you make some adjustments there. But other than that, this starting 11 still has a lot of firepower, but there's definitely firepower on the bench as well.
Yeah, certainly. If RSL weren't so stretched at the back right now, with Marcelo Silva being suspended and Andrew Brody out with a concussion, maybe you could see a Brian Vera slide over, as we've seen him earlier in his RSL career play at left back, and was solid enough, obviously more mobile than Brian Oviedo, but they are very, very, very stretched. So it would mean Hidalgo or Amika Anelli playing at left back, which they haven't done. And that's my only concern right now. As you see, though, the strength of Oviedo going forward, those balls into the box, the chance for for Chicho coming off the right foot of Brian Oviedo.
We're underway here at America First Field here in the second half. Second 45. Glad and Vera and a little pass. RSL will be moving left to right across your radio dial, across your internet stream. That's north to south here at America First Field. Ball out of play at midfield, right in front of the fourth official. Will be a throw-in for Monterrey. RSL going to get a sub up warming up. I think it's Musovski. Hidalgo maybe takes a slightly heavy touch. So lose the ball. A few more subs getting up. Musovski was just the first to go. Ojeda. Ball there from RSL. You can tell Monterrey is willing to lay down when the foul and the challenge comes in. Hopefully it doesn't play into some late game antics we've seen in many CONCACAF games back in the past.
And you saw from the first minute the ball to Andrade, the goalkeeper. He'd wait for the RSL player to pressure him just to waste time. Now that they've got that 2-goal lead, you expect to see that a lot more from Monterrey as they sit comfortably.
Good step there by Savrino. Ruiz, good touch. Back to Hidalgo. Looking forward to Arango. Over to Ruiz. Gotta love the skill there for Ruiz. Sees the pressure, pulls back. Right back to Hidalgo. Arango. Rubin checked in looking for the ball. Arango a little deeper. Savrino inside the area. Ball knocked away by the defender. Hector Moreno, the captain, and it'll be a corner kick, the first of the evening for RSL coming here in the second half.
And I like the combination play. RSL not panicking, still having their patterns of play, not trying to force it too much. A nice little interchange there between Savarino and Hidalgo.
Here's where the opportunities you need to take advantage of. RSL with a few numbers in the box. Ruiz will take the corner kick. Played inside, keeper there. Headed away momentarily. RSL back with possession. Ojeda. Luna with him. Ojeda pulls back, and he'll play it back to Oviedo. Glad skipping Hidalgo. Hidalgo make the overlap over Ruiz. Hidalgo inside. Savrino, ball pops up on him. Heavy touch there. He gets away from the first with a nutmeg. This ball is going to play big up over top all the way back to Gavin Beavers. Haven't talked a whole ton about Gavin Beavers. 2 big saves from him in this match, and really the 2 times he was called upon tonight, he made big saves.
Yeah, he's looked solid. Obviously, he had that little early nervous moment where he had to control the ball and bring it back into his own area.
Luna inside the 18. Luna to Savrino. Durango! Good combination there. Takes a deflection. Wouldn't have mind seeing Savrino take the quick hit there with his left foot. But unselfish play from RSL, and they're on the front foot here in the first 4 minutes of the second half.
Similar position as his goal against Orlando or New York. I think it was Orlando, where it came right across the box, but the defender, the fullback, was right there in his face. But nice interchanging play. Still liking the patterns from RSL in the attack.
This time Savarino, he'll swing it in. Jefferson looking for Glad, headed away. Hidalgo with the header. RSL with possession. Not a great touch there, but goes to Glad. Savarino with 2. And he'll be taken out. That'll be a free kick coming just in front of the AR here on the near side. RSL will take these free kick opportunities, try to get dangerous.
Ideal for Paulo Ruiz to swing that inwards with his left foot. Really make the goalkeeper have to make a decision. Does he stay or does he go?
35 out, completely on the sideline pretty much. It's going to be a big cross here from Ruiz. RSL just inside the 18. Looks like Monterrey is going to push up to the 18. Andrada is on the 6. Ball played in. Arango, heel flip. Luna there waiting, lurking, and it'll be pushed out by Medina, and it'll be another corner kick coming for RSL, the third of the second half.
No second guessing from this Monterrey back line. They don't dilly-dally. They just put it out and rely on their defenders to see it out as they have done with these corners that have come in the second half.
Set pieces and opportunities need to be taken advantage of by RSL. Opportunity here in the 51st. Savarino picks up his head, looks back post, no one there, and it'll go out for a goal kick. Service has to be better there from Savarino.
Yeah, everybody's at the front post, the penalty spot, or towards the front post, and he goes back post. Not good from the Venezuelan.
You'd like to see some runners mixing up runs, not having all the same run as what we kind of saw there. RSL continuing with the pressure they provided in the first half. Glad picks up his head, sees the line, looking back towards Beavers. Gavin with a big foot forward, right to the Monterrey player. Oviedo fought to go forward. Ruiz there instead. But the commitment to the press has been very evident tonight from RSL throughout 52 minutes of play.
It's got to be said, number 25, Jonathan Gonzalez in the middle of the park for Monterrey has had a really steady game. American-born, California-born. Plying his trade down in Mexico.
And this Monterrey side, just a quality side all the way around, and that's one of the impressive things we've seen is Oviedo's there. Ball's going to go out of play as he's able to go stride for stride there and show some speed.
Did well there, it's got to be said.
Maybe one of the questions that we had in the first half. And sometimes it's not necessarily speed, but the body positioning there that we saw from him getting in between the ball and the man. Monterrey attacking here. Ball out wide. Ball swung in, and Hidalgo was there. And it'll be knocked out of play by the goal scorer for Monterrey, Berterame.
Ruiz brave on the ball there, surrounded by players. Finds a way out.
Pretty amazing, his confidence level there. Turns into a counter for Monterrey. Hidalgo trying to get back into position. Vera gets knocked away. An opportunity up over the bar, but a foul will be called by our center referee.
And that's Funes Mori all over there. Obviously gives away the free kick there, Landon, but he's not only is he mobile, but he's one of those center forwards, almost that traditional old school number 9 where he'll back in, he'll batter the defenders, give as good as he gets.
Beavers. And I thought really in that first 4 or 5 minutes, RSL came out with their foot on the gas. Opportunities were a few. Service on the set pieces wasn't great. RSL has to get back to where they were a few moments ago. if they want to get back into this game. All out of play, and it'll be a throw-in coming from RSL.
Yeah, the game's just got a little choppy, a little scrappy. Monterey really putting their foot on the ball in the middle of the park, taking the sting out of RSL.
And I think that's one of the things that they definitely read in the scouting report, close down some of that center midfield for RSL and shut down some of the movement that RSL is able to provide. Good ball movement there. Good turn. Rubin, heavy touch. Might have been different if it wasn't such a heavy touch.
Almost had that header into the path of Savarino. Just couldn't get enough on there because the ball looped up in the air. A split second too long.
Excuse me, Spence. RSL looks like they're going to make their first change of the evening as Julio. Anderson. Julio will be coming into this match.
It's the one I would have gone for.
There's the speed you're talking about maybe bringing into a game. The work rate so far has been there from Rubin, unable to finish on his big opportunity.
And this is what you'll see now. Obviously, Rubin will put that shift in. Chicho will put that shift in. But now you've got the guy that doesn't mind drifting into the channels to stretch teams.
And sometimes all you need is a simple change, as Pablo will elect to make that change here 10 minutes or so into the half. Monterrey still leading 2-0. 56th minute here at America First Field. He's Spencer Warren. I'm Landon Southwick. We appreciate you tuning in here on KSL Sports. Monterrey with a little spell of possession. I think one of the things RSL maybe can go back to doing is getting some of that possession that they had early in the match and making it a little difficult for Monterrey. Get them chasing. Ball out wide. Vega puts it in. It'll go off Hidalgo, and it'll be a corner kick, the first of the second half for Monterrey.
Looks like they'll just hold off on that substitution. Looks like it will be Rubio Rubin that will be making way.
After this corner kick, ball played back post over everybody's head, and it's going to go out for a throw-in. And RSL will make their substitution, an adjustment here. Rubin sees his number called. He'll jog off. We're going to see Anderson Julio enter the match. And the difference there, Spence, I think, is the speed. Pure and simple speed.
Yeah, and that's what RSL's been lacking a little bit, particularly on the wings, obviously. Savarino's got a good turn of pace, but that's not Luna's game, and obviously Rubin is that guy who'll just put a good shift in, nudge into defenders, just constantly moves. This gives RSL a different dimension. They'll be able to keep playing the way they are, but that quick out ball to the flanks over the top will be an opportunity for RSL now.
RSL with a player down. It'll be a ball off an RSL defender off Vera, and it'll be a corner kick coming for Monterrey.
Ojeda gets back up. He was the one on the floor.
9 shots for RSL compared to the 5 of Monterrey. Monterrey with 3 on target, RSL with only 1 on target.
That was that very early strike from Arango.
Arango's been quiet the last little bit, but he's a game changer, can change things up at any moment. Corner kick coming. Ball inside, headed away by RSL. Savarino, good 2 touches there. RSL will try to counter. Anderson Julio getting his first moments of action here. He goes for goal just wide. Looks like the keeper might have got a deflection, but it'll be a goal kick coming.
Just took it maybe a little too far wide for him. Just a heavy touch, but just off the bench and already makes an impact.
If you're RSL, that's what you'd like to see, a quick impact sub. Both teams using 1 sub in 1 window. of the 5 substitutions they can use to this point. Neither elected to make a substitution at the halftime break. Ball up over Glad. This is where Monterrey gets dangerous. Wide, Hidalgo defending. Hidalgo wins it away, and Hidalgo will go forward. Crowd appreciating the work of Hidalgo. Big ball. Savarino settles. Beautiful touch. Perfect. Arango up over top. Arango was wrong-footed there, trying to get the right foot on the ball. Maybe instead of letting it cross his body and use the left foot.
Just ever so slightly had to stretch for that ball as well. But a lovely move from RSL.
But you can see the change that RSL has now opened this game vertically. And Monterrey has to be a little careful there.
Again, Paulo Ruiz pulling the strings in the midfield. That first-time ball from Hidalgo, just allowing him to allow the ball to come across his body and play it into the path of Savarino. A lovely touch from Sava, who cuts it back, plays it across the penalty area. And Arango just had to stretch and pops it over the bar.
It's more like RSL. Ball there for Ruiz. Over to Glad. Glad wearing the captain's armbands. First homegrown for RSL to wear the captain's armband. Ball too far out in front. Hidalgo going to have to apply the pressure. Good job there by Hidalgo to apply the pressure. Caused an error in the pass of Monterrey. 2-0, RSL needing opportunities. 11 shots now for RSL. Need to find one on goal and one that hits the back of the net to pull this one a little bit closer. Hidalgo into Ojeda to Luna. Luna sitting a little more central. Bad giveaway there by Luna. Anderson Julio applied the pressure. Ruiz all the way back to Beavers. Beavers puts it high, middle of the park, no one there. Unfortunately for RSL, slow to get back. Couple guys sitting a little higher. Pablo Ruiz might be thinking another substitution here in a moment. Ball goes off RSL. It'll be a throw-in for Monterrey. We'll take a quick pause for station identification.
Real Salt Lake is on 97.5 FM KZNS Colville, 1280 AM KZNS Salt Lake City, 1160 AM KSL Salt Lake City, and KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is the RSL Radio Network.
Arango getting a ball forward. Keeper comes off his line to make sure Arango doesn't get an opportunity. But much needed towards Arango.
Bodie's kind of grown into this game now. He looks a lot more comfortable. Good battle from the Kaysville native.
Gotta love us Kaysville boys. Sorry, I had to throw it out there, Spence.
Keeping the broadcast alive and RSL's hopes alive.
I love it. 2-0 Monterrey, 64th minutes. Arango had a chance a few moments ago. Can RSL spark some magic? Luna into Ojeda. Out wide to Hidalgo. Ojeda. Little drag step to Glad. Glad back to Hidalgo. RSL's going to reset. All the way back to Beavers. Ruiz drops deep. He'll collect. A lot of space in front of him. Picks up his head looking towards Luna. Luna checks in, but Hidalgo receives it wide. Back to Luna. Ball back stick, looking, pushed up over top. I thought there was more opportunity spent inside the center of the park. As it looks like we're going to see another substitution coming here momentarily for RSL.
Yeah, it was a nice idea to switch the flanks, but it just wasn't enough on there. And Oviedo was kind of blinded by the fullback. Fullback doing a good job there, and as he stuck his foot out, it just kind of looped onto the top of the goalkeeper's net.
Julio. Good little skill check there. Savrino inside the area to Luna. Luna looking. Savrino takes a crack. That one takes a deflection. Cloud's going to be frustrated with that foul called unnecessary, because I think he was wrapped up just as much as he had the Monterrey attacker wrapped up. Nonetheless, a foul called, and RSL will give away a set piece. And really more of a momentum killer in that moment.
Just trying to get around Funes Mori, just nick the ball away, but the big body of the number 7 doing a good job to hold that up and win the free kick.
RSL frustrated in the crowd showing their displeasure. Pablo, the coach, with his arms up as our referee shows yellow there.
Bit of a soft one, should we say? We'll say it's a soft one.
I don't even know where the foul was. Looking at the replay. As we're going to see a double substitution from Monterrey. Govea will leave the match. Luis Romo will come into this match. And Jordi Cortizo also be coming in, as he'll be replacing Rojas in the pink boots.
We'll lose one Colombian and then we'll get another Colombian on.
Sometimes how it goes. Monterrey with some action at their stadium tonight. A watch party down in Monterrey at one of the most beautiful stadiums in CONCACAF. I'm sure you've seen that on the internet. As they introduce Canales tonight, the Spaniard. As RSL is going to make a substitution. As Luna will be coming off and Gomez will be entering as a super sub here in the 68th minutes.
After a bright start to his RSL career, Gomez just kind of gone off the boil a little bit. So this is a good opportunity for him to get 25 minutes under his belt. Show what he's all about again.
Leagues Cup games, as a reminder, one match against each team. So RSL getting their second match, and they'll be done after tonight's, barring an advancement here in the Leagues Cup. 90 minutes win equals 3 points. 90-minute loss equals 0 points. And like you mentioned, PKs, if it's tied after 90, the PK winner gets 2 points, and the PK loss gets 1 point. So I'm sure RSL would love to get back to that point or get the go-ahead.
We just have to wait nervously for Sunday, I guess, if it doesn't. Plenty of time left on.
69th minutes. 20 and change here at America First Field. RSL with possession. Over to Glad. Monterrey kind of content letting RSL pass around. See if it forcing them to try to get dangerous. Ball's going to be played out. Takes the photographer right in the face, I think. Photographer still down. Pops back up. Assuming that's RSL's photographer, Lauren, maybe. No, I'm not sure.
Struggling either way.
Hidalgo with the throw-in. Into Gomez. Gomez with the touch goes towards the corner. Gomez wins a corner kick for RSL. So he's called into action pretty quick. Fourth corner here of the second half. RSL did not have a corner registered in the first half. As it's go time now. Better service needed. RSL going to put some numbers inside the box. Everybody just standing in front of the PK spot. Runners spread, ball in. Header off the woodwork. Off the crossbar for RSL. Monterrey's keeper able to get back under control.
Chicho looking to the heavens as what is he got to do to get a goal tonight. A lovely header from him right across the box.
I think that frustration is starting to appear for RSL. It feels like what needs to be done to score is there's going to be a corner kick conceded. Monterrey quickly goes into that counter to get their fourth corner of the evening.
I like the adjustment that RSL have done with Brian Oviedo, not getting forward as much, staying a little bit further back. Just having Bodie Hidalgo be the outlet fullback.
RSL hits the woodwork. Soccer can be a cruel game sometimes. And so far, RSL unable to find the back of the nets. Corner kick coming. Headed away by Chicho. It'll be a throw-in coming from Monterrey. So Monterrey is going to get their big boys back into position. They'll take their sweet time here in the 70 seconds. And this is where it drives you nuts as a fan of the opposing team. The game slows so far down.
Bodie with great work again. Great work.
Passes just haven't been connecting for RSL. Ball back to the keeper. Arango still putting in the work. Very nice step there. Second ball not won by RSL. Monterrey with possession. Substitute. In the center of the park, looking, probing. Nothing there. He'll pull it back to Vegas. Now you can expect Monterrey to try to start to kill this game off. And RSL is going to have to get creative. Monterrey spreading the field wide. Going from side to side, inside to outside. Big switch. Vegas. Gomez. Good work there to keep possession.
Unlucky by the Colombian, just trying to keep the ball alive, not just go long and give possession straight back to Monterrey, but it just rolls out for a throw-in.
It almost felt like he was gassed there for a second, just wasn't expecting to have to get up and go. Unable to keep the ball in. Monterrey is going to get a free kick here in the 74th. Number of games have already gone final in Leagues Cup. DC United 1-0 over Montreal. Tigres and Portland 0-0. They're only in the second minutes. Philadelphia 5-1 winners. New England 5-1 winners over San Luis. MLS has had a pretty good night so far. RSL, the only one of the bunch down. Free kick, ball inside the area. No one there defending. And Monterrey goes up 3-0. And RSL just caught sleeping on that free kick.
Yeah, it was a thumped in free kick. You heard it come off his foot, really whipped in, and RSL just on their heels. And a great run from ba23be to make it 3-0.
This is where you're going to have to dig deep in a situation like this, Spence, because now it really does come head-to-head, goal differential. All that applies, as Beavers had nothing he could do on that one.
All 3 goals, he's not been able to do anything. And it's nothing against him. They've just been really, really clean.
And you thought Monterey was killing off the game early. Now they definitely have the ability to kill the final 16 plus stoppage out of this game. Some of the RSL fans heading towards the exits. RSL unbeaten in their last 11, but tonight has not been friendly to them. Hidalgo going forward. Passes are just not crisp, not connecting. Another opportunity. Big ball up over top, and it'll go out of play. RSL will quickly reset. Ojeda. Oviedo. Oviedo was sitting a little further back, sitting a little higher now. RSL going to have to create some magic. Arango from deep. Needed something special to beat the keeper from that distance. Unable to do so here in the 76th. And Spence, one of the things that I felt like would have changed this game is if you could have got one back, get the crowd into the game, as the crowd not being in this game has made it really difficult for things to get really, truly going.
Yeah, and obviously the players feed off of that noise that RSL fans make, but they haven't had too much to cheer about. Obviously, Chicho hitting the crossbar just a few minutes before that third goal could have changed the entire face of the game.
Now chasing for 3 down. Vega. Anderson Julio applying the pressure. Hector Moreno has to play it out. It'll be a throw-in for RSL. You need more of that if you're going to change this game. And now it's about pulling one back. We're going to see 2 more substitutions for Monterrey. Gallardo, Jesus Gallardo, Mexican international, coming onto the pitch. And Vega leaving.
By the way, they've got a glut of left backs. It's ridiculous, the Monterrey left backs they have.
He's a very solid international player. As we're going to see a Victor Lopez enter the match. And he'll replace Mesa. Maximiliano Mesa will leave the match. Monterrey has exhausted their substitutes here in the 78th. RSL looking to make 2 more substitutions here. Palacios and Musovski.
RSL definitely needs to make a dent in the goal differential. This game is gone, but a goal or 2 would certainly help come Sunday.
And that's what's going to matter at this point. Can RSL pull one back? Savrino looking forward. Falls to Julio. He's still battling. Gomez. Going towards goal. Tough angle there to produce anything as runners were crashing in the box.
Yeah, the apology goes up from Gomez. He realizes there was a couple of RSL bodies in the box. Not a good cross-come shot.
'79th minutes. 3-0 Monterrey. And I don't know what it is about Monterrey, but have had RSL's number especially here. Arango to Julio, heavy touch. Then dispossessed. Gomez whips it back in the box. No one there. One or two runners, and that one might have found the back of the nets. So we're going to see substitutions coming from RSL here at at this dead ball. It's Musovski. Arango is going to leave the match, which you hate to see because he's the one guy that you feel like truly deserved a goal from the work he put in tonight. Hitting the woodwork. Musovski has been one that's been able to pull back goals or have opportunities, and we'll see if he's able to do so tonight. And Palacios, one of the many transfers that RSL has brought in, and Palacios is a dangerous player.
Yeah, we saw that blast against Kansas City on his debut. Big body, really, really physical, kind of sits small out of those central midfield too.
Foul called. It's not crazy loud in here, but couldn't hear that whistle, and it didn't feel like, as Ruiz gives him one of those, I'm not sure what you're calling. I won't say what words probably came with it, but definitely frustration from the center of the park. The hand up, the flip. '81st minutes. Arango getting words from the coaching staff. Ruiz picks up his head. Ruiz, couple runners out wide. Musovski, ball behind him. Musovski to Gomez, and Gomez puts that one way wide. As it felt like that one was building a little bit there, as Gomez is now put two way off.
Yeah, it's an alarming regression for Andres Gomez. Still a young player, but hasn't looked on it for a good month now after his early promise.
Something interesting to note. Ojeda, his loan technically ends at Nottingham Forest on July 31st.
Monday.
Could that be the last moments we just saw him in an RSL jersey? Or will his time continue? Big flip there. Musovski tries to chest it down. Monterrey just has a lot more life this phase. Altitude was one of the things we talked about, but RSL just really has not made it so that the altitude was a factor. It's 3-0 Monterrey.
No, they've managed this game superbly. If they are fatigued, they're not showing any signs whatsoever. Good substitution patterns as well at the right times to add those legs in the center of the park and out wide.
I think the word difference tonight, Spence, for this game has been clinical finishing versus non-clinical finishing. RSL has not been able to get it done on the finishing side. Monterrey, with their opportunities, has been very clinical and effective. Ball goes out of play. It'll be a goal kick coming from Monterrey. Best team in CONCACAF, and I think they're showing it tonight against a very, very strong RSL side that has put up very solid numbers this season, but not looking quite the same as they have tonight. A missed touch, and it'll be a throw-in coming from RSL, for RSL. Quickly taken. Ruiz, center of the park, to Gomez. Julio, back stick. Ball whipped in. Palacios able to keep possession for RSL. Ruiz back to Glad. So as things stand now, the Sounders would need to go out and win 3-0 and not get a red card. It's essentially the scenario for the Sounders. League Cup tiebreakers is ball opportunity for good stick by Palacios. As it stands now, head-to-head is the first tiebreaker, goal differential the second, third is goals for, fourth goals against, fifth is fair play, and then sixth is a blind draw.
Well, if Seattle put in a performance like they did on Saturday, Monterrey is going to be comfortable.
Gomez shot, no angle there. They would have been better suited to put it across the face of goal, as Anderson Julio was waiting there. The tweets are continuing to flow out there. The good news is RSL can still advance. But the problem is now you have to become a fan of the Rave Green. No, excuse me, of Monterrey. You want to still hate the Rave Green. That's fair.
Yes, please.
Yes, please, from Spencer Warren. 86th minutes. RSL trail 3-0 here at America First Field in this Leagues Cup match, and fans are starting to head towards the exits. I know we saw that a little earlier. Here, official announced attendance, but I believe originally it was 20,000. Bad giveaway from RSL. Man with the brace passes it off. Monterrey, do they smell blood in the water? Ball inside, and Beavers comes up big again. Gavin Beavers, when called upon, has come up with 3 huge saves.
He gets a handshake from Batame as well.
Gonna be asking for his jersey after the game.
Astonishing save from the goalkeeper, and it's every game, Landon. He pulls out one of these phenomenal stops. You think about the save in the last minute against Kansas City when we got that 2-2 draw. Phenomenal point-blank range or point-blank save.
And if there's something to take away, you got to be excited with the future of RSL goalkeeping as he continues to grow into that player. And I know it's been pointed out he is yet to have a shutouts. But truth be told, 5-1-1 in all competitions for Gavin Beavers. So not something you can really hate on. Ruiz trying to get there. It just feels like that type of night for RSL. Palacios taken down, and a yellow card's going to be shown. And here's where it becomes interesting. Yellow cards now matter. As Monterrey with 2 to this point, RSL with 1. But RSL does have the red card hanging over their head from Silva against Seattle. The revenge will have to wait another, hopefully not 12 years to happen, but does not look like RSL is going to get the revenge they would have liked to have tonight. They trail 3-0 here in the 88th minutes.
It's got to be said already, Landon. If this is Ojeda's last match, Nelson Palacios come off the bench and look to cut above the rest.
And you'd hope he'd be able to do that regularly for RSL, being part of that transfer list the Elliott Fallen crew have put together for RSL. And Monterrey supporters are the only ones truly making noise at this point in the match. You know, it was interesting on the last game against Seattle. Seattle's coach had to come out and apologize in the postgame. It'll be interesting to hear what Pablo has to say tonight after this team just didn't have it all together. And some of that might be luck, but it just hasn't seemed like the same RSL team we've been watching for the last 11 games unbeaten. Combinations have been slightly off. The touches have been heavy. Shots have been wide. And that's one of the challenges of going on such a streak of 11 in a row where it's been unbeaten. Not that it's been perfect in those 11, but after the game against Seattle, you had to feel like this team was flying high. And tonight they were shown who the kings of CONCACAF are.
Yeah, definitely a step up in competition and quality.
Ruiz crosses this midfield line, looking to play forward. And Moose in behind, but keeper comes off his line. So Monterrey's going to look to kill this one off. It'll be interesting to see what Elliott Fall and company are able to figure out with Ojeda. You know, that's definitely probably an ongoing negotiation that we'll hear about in the coming days or weeks. Hopefully the coming days, as that loan ends on Monday. Stoppage time is going to be announced. 2 minutes of stoppage time. And I know this game's not in reach, but 2 minutes seems very minimal compared to what it probably should be.
With the amount of substitutions.
It was interesting. We went through this phase in the World Cup where we were giving, 17 minutes? You know, and now we're back to giving 2 minutes in a game. It's just kind of interesting how that's gone away again. Beavers comes off his line. Does a good job to make sure Monterrey doesn't get their fourth. Ojeda. Ball gets taken from him. Only imagine this will kill off more of this game. Spence, it's one of those hard things when you leave a cup situation in the hands of others. Now you sit and watch a game on Sunday. And watching a game on Sunday, Seattle's had a little bit of rest. What does Monterrey come in doing? Can they repeat the same thing? Yep. Lumen Field, a lot different than America First Field. But you got to imagine with the performance they put in tonight, they're very capable of beating Seattle handily. Free kick, ball whipped in. Ball off the woodwork. Big save by Beavers. But a foul called. And I continue to feel like that's the highlight of this game for RSL is the saves by Gavin Beavers.
The issue now is if RSL don't qualify for the next round, it's 3 weeks off, which is nice in some regard, but the momentum that they've had is all lost.
3 weeks is a lot of time to be sitting around, as the next League Cup game will be August 20th against the Galaxy at 8:30 p.m. down in California, as that's the final whistle here at America First Field. RSL falls 3-0 to the Kings of CONCACAF in Monterrey, as the revenge was not able to come to fruition here tonight. And RSL just did not look like the team they have as of recent. I know I continue to repeat that, Spence, but that's just what it was tonight.
Yeah, really, really good quality team in Monterrey. RSL had their opportunities. They did have chances. They kept creating, but just the extra step in quality from Monterrey really put RSL under pressure. And at times, RSL were chasing shadows in the midfield as they moved the ball, Monterrey, so quickly and so crisply. Yeah, different level tonight. And that's where RSL want to be. And obviously, playing season in, season out, playing in this League's Cup, playing in Champions League, this team will get better 100%. But today has been a massive learning lesson for this RSL team.
And I think one of the challenges is that game could have been different. And you finished some opportunities. I used the word clinical earlier, Spence. Clinical finishing would have changed that game, and it really could have been 2-2 in the first half.
Absolutely, yeah. And if RSL even just got one, it changes the mindset of the game going into halftime. Brian Vera's chance springs to mind. Obviously, Rubio Rubin's, where he can't quite swivel and put the ball in from 5 yards out. Any of those that hit the back of the net, it's a momentum changer. RSL came out in the second half, did well, but obviously as the game wore on, Monterrey settled. They didn't seem to be affected by the altitude. And then obviously the third goal is a killer as RSL are pushing for that first goal.
Monterey will now move on to take on Seattle in Seattle, Lumen Fields, on Sunday evening, I believe. Is that a 7:30 kick? 8:30 kick Mountain Time. I believe we'll double check that, but a big game for Monterey and a big opportunity. Monterey wins that game, and RSL will have the opportunity to move on. So something to keep an eye on on Sunday nights, and something that's a must for RSL fans if they want to continue their Leagues Cup journey. But that's all she wrote here at America First Field. RSL falls 3-0 to Monterey, the Kings of CONCACAF, who have had RSL's number here in Sandy. And RSL just unable to do enough tonight. For Spencer Warren, I'm Landon Southwick. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We're going to pass it over after commercial break to Lauren and Jake and let them recap tonight's game. Thanks for tuning in.
Real Salt Lake will be back on America First Field on August 26th when they host Houston for Kick Childhood Cancer Night. Presented by WCF Insurance. Get your tickets at rsl.com or call 844-REAL-TICKS.
Shaping a game